Much as I worry about Kamala Harris, I'm never going to criticise her for turning up for only her second serious interview since becoming the Democrat candidate. It might be a desperate ploy because she's struggling in the polls, but good on her for fronting up to Brett Baier on Fox News and giving voters a chance to see her answer or not answer some tough questions. Harris at least stood up for herself on the difficult topic of the immigration crisis she's overseen as Vice President.
May I please finish?
Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish.
You
please.
had the White House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising,
okay,
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people.
Fair enough, but Harris actually never answered the questions about whether it's 4 million, 6 million or more illegal immigrants who have crossed the border on her watch, and whether she regretted weakening immigration rules. Over more than 25 minutes, Harris tried to turn every answer onto Donald Trump, even when responding about people murdered by illegal immigrants the Biden-Harris administration let in.
I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
Yeah, everything went back to Donald Trump on taxpayer-funded sex change surgery.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed.
And on standing up to the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put Iran in check.
The estimates in billions.
It was during Donald Trump's administration
that Iran regime
that we had an American military base that was attacked.
Even on how the United States needs to change, Harris went straight to Trump.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
Incredibly, even on Kamala Harris herself covering for Joe Biden's failing capacities, we got more on Donald Trump.
When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but is. You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
after George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump.
And just to hammer home the point, we got this passionate attack on who else but Donald Trump.
He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake.
Yeah, very aggressive. But the problem with that attack line is that the Democrats have spent most of the past 4 years trying to have Trump convicted and locked up. And they're still at it now. Here's how the interview finished.
I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say,
There are a lot of
actually.
things that people want to learn about you and your policies, and that's why we
I invite everyone to go to kamalaharris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them.
Yeah, if you want policies, go to the website. If you want tough interviews, well, you've probably seen the last one of the campaign. For the next 20 days, you'll hear Kamala Harris talking mainly about Donald Trump, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because both campaigns, both sides of this contest, are focused almost exclusively on Donald Trump. The Democrats, even when they're in office, saying Trump's the problem. The Republicans claiming that Trump is the solution.